Now for a little bit of flavor, just to make it, kind of a cool intro to our game, we're going to make a countdown. Now, the way we're going to make this countdown is we're going to use what's called a for loop. Now, a for loop is a loop that uses what is called a control variable. It's also called a sentinel variable. You can call it different things, but essentially what it is a variable that it's initialized just for that loop that allows us to keep track of which iteration we're on and provide a condition for exiting. So we are going to start a for loop with the keyword for, open a set of parentheses. Now I know you're very used to a condition being there, right? This, however, is a little bit different. So rather than putting a condition there, we're going to create a variable and we're going to initialize it with a value of 0. Then we are going to put a condition here like I is less than 3. And notice we're putting semicolons in between these. And then we're going to say I++. Now we're going to open a set of braces. And then we're going to do co-stuffs. So what the heck is all this? That makes like no sense. Well, what we're doing is we are creating a variable and initializing it. We're telling the loop, okay, run as long as the variable that we just initialized meets this condition, being less than 3. And then whenever you've reached the end of our code block, run this third statement, which is increase the value of that variable by 1. And you can replace these with whatever they want, whatever you want, as long as this is an initialization. This is a comparison operator, or a comparison statement that returns some Boolean value. And then some operation that changes the value of our counter variable. So if you wanted to count in reverse, for example, you could say variable is equal to 3, I is greater than 0, I minus minus. That works just as well, right? And as a matter of fact, actually, we'd probably want to use this because we want to make our countdown, right? So let's compare, actually. So here, we can console log 3 minus the value of I and put an ellipses there. Or over here, we can put the value of I itself. Now let's think about this logically, right? We start with a value of 0 for I. 3 minus 0 is 3. And so our output here is 3 like that, right? And then we reach the end of the loop, 0 is incremented by 1, and then we have 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, increment again. So then we have 2 here. 3 minus 2 is 1. Okay, so then we reach the end of the loop, increment again. So now this is 3. Is I less than 3? No. Therefore, we don't execute this anymore, and the loop stops. Now let's look at this one. We start with a value of 3. We print that out, so we get an output of 3. And then we reach the end of the loop, subtract 1, we're at 2. We print 2. Right, we reach the end of the loop, subtract 1. Then we're at 1. We subtract 1 again, and we hit 0, right? But then I is greater than 0. Is 0 greater than 0? No, so we stop executing. So you can see there's actually more than one way to write the exact same thing. And this is something you're going to discover about a lot of programming in general, is that usually there's a lot of different ways to come up with this, a solution to the same problem. Now, because this looks just a little bit simpler because we don't have to do any subtraction, here we're going to use this reversed loop here. That's pretty common practice. If you're counting down from something, you're going to reverse the loop there. So that is what we're going to use for our countdown. And so now if we come back over, we reload our page, give a name of nuggets, don't do any extra salad allocation. We're going to give like 5, or a few different numbers. And then see we have 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. We can add a little go if we want. And that'll add that right there.